Hi, I'm Terry Moore with The Unified Path, continuing our series on holism, and now let's focus on the mind. The holism of the mind. We are, after all, vertical beings, and our brains, our minds are at the top of our beings, and we often understand that we need to look up for inspiration or for ideas, and we often talk about things being top of mind and so forth. So there's a lot to be made of the verticality which we all share, and the fact that our minds or our brains are at the top of our being, of our bodies. So when we think about holism and the mind, there are three things that we can talk about that are particularly helpful. One is learning, another is thinking, and the third, brain health. When we think about learning, I'm talking about reading or imbibing the works that have been done over the ages by great saints and sages so that we can understand a lot about ourselves and the world in which we live. And reading these wonderful texts from variety of cultures and traditions gives us not only a view of things that are higher, but also a way to think about them and frequently a language to use to think about and talk about these things. So learning, which is to say mostly reading the great texts of history and literature and religion and philosophy, can be a very good asset and certainly an essential part of dealing with the holism of the mind. Another thing that's particularly helpful is to talk about thinking and ways in which thinking can connect us to that which is higher. As I said, we often think about looking up for inspiration. We know instinctively that things are higher and that we can think about them in ways that are not only maybe more true than others, but also are more helpful and useful in terms of our own minds and our own ability to see, learn, and assimilate that which we are doing. Lastly, let's talk about brain health and how brain health is important, because there are many things we can do to ensure that we have healthy brains, not just things like exercise and nutrition, but things like brain exercises or well, for example, one of the things that's often suggested for people who are older is that they do something that is contrary to what they have done for most of their lives. For example, if you've spent your life as an accountant, then one of the things that would help your brain as it ages is to do something like singing or dancing. I've had a fairly intellectual career, and what I've decided to do is learn Arabic, which is very difficult, but is certainly exercising part of my brain that hasn't gotten any exercise before. And as difficult as it is, I feel good about that kind of exercise, much as one might feel good about getting physical exercise. All of these things are important when we talk about holistic health, and particularly the mind's role in its own holistic health and in the holistic health of our whole being. So remember, learning, thinking, and brain health. Those are the keys for today. Now, I'd be eager to hear what you have to say about these things, so please leave a comment in the chat comments below. Until next time, remember, body, mind, heart, soul, one.